It seems to be a big priority for the president, this manufacturing council that you're leading up. How will you measure its success?
We're putting inputs from the manufacturing sector. I can look at risk-benefit analysis, cost to the economy, productivity on regs, and I can look at ease of foreign investment and ease of investment in general in removing barriers, federal, state, to get a project approved. Because we are terrible on red tape on project approval, so I can look at that. I can do that with infrastructure as well as a metric. And then in Worker of the Future, there's 500,000 jobs of the modern economy open right now, and we're only producing 50,000 STEM graduates a year. So we've got to put in vocational training across the country. There's another metric. How do we take the $3 billion being spent by the government right now? How do we point it at community colleges? How do we synergize it with private sectors like ours? How do we put it into the high schools and actually the middle schools so we make vocational training a very needed and wanted thing by our kids? How do we retrain displaced workers? 7.5 million unskilled jobs left this country in the last 10 years. We created 10 million new jobs, but 500,000 were unfilled, as I said earlier, because we don't have the skills.
But President Trump isn't talking about that. He's not talking about retraining workers. He's not talking about STEM. He's talking about countries that are launching trade wars, and therefore we're losing and hemorrhaging jobs to those countries. Are we losing manufacturing jobs because of unfair trade, as President Trump would have you believe, or are we losing manufacturing jobs and we can't get people employed because they don't have the right skills and there's a mismatch between what companies need and what people are trained for?
Yeah, yes, both. I mean, there's about 10 to 20% of the jobs that have left that probably we shouldn't have lost if we had fair trade. Okay,
10 to 20%.
Yeah, of the jobs we've lost. Most of the other jobs we've lost, the 7.5 million are referenced, are in areas that the U.S. economy shouldn't want to compete in. Low labor costs, unskilled labor, call centers, things like that.
So do you tell President Trump this?
Yes.
Do you tell him we shouldn't compete with low labor countries?
Yes, we have had those discussions.
Does he get it?
I think Ivanka, Jared, and he are forming a great close-knit partnership on this area. He defaults to Ivanka and Jared on this topic. The Office of American Innovation that's being created has some excellent people inside of it, and these people are working with Jared and Ivanka, and then as we get that body of work, we'll be reviewing it with the president. We've had one review already, and I think he does get it.
So why does he go out there saying, NAFTA, renegotiating NAFTA is a priority?
Well, because NAFTA is old, and it's before the digital economy, so it does need to be renegotiated. That's a pure fact.
Well, for e-commerce, right?
Well,
it needs
e-commerce
to be modernized.
But
for
how about lower labor standards in Mexico versus the United States, and why are we tolerating certain factories exporting to us that have lower standards than us? I mean, the point of market access and fairness, most countries you go to that I'm in that are, top-down countries, they give you incentives to invest. They give you tax breaks. They give you subsidies. They're going to have advantages you can't have, and they prescribe how much you can own of a company in that country. So that is a barrier to trade. That's a non-tariff barrier that President Trump wants to create equal access on. I call that fair trade. If you give me access to your country, same rules. I'll give you access to my country, same rules.